Good morning, good morning, good morning. And I want to thank y'all for tuning in to this newest installment of PMOTV. Of course, I am put me on Avante, and I have a very special guest with me today, Mr. Chris Everette. This man, I know we met a couple of years ago, actually in Wilmington when he was showing Wilmington on Fire, and this probably maybe like 7 years ago.
While ago.
It's been a long time ago, a long time ago. So of course, I know hailing out of the Wilmington, North Carolina area now. I have a North Carolina producer, director, and mind you, an award-winning documentary film known as Wilmington on Fire. Of course, we definitely dive into that. Co-founder of Black Doc, and also he's the artistic director of Southern Doc Fund. Also, so many professional hats. You can tell the passion is in with everything he does, especially the artistic side of everything. So today I want to introduce you, Mr. Chris Everette. How you doing, brother? How are you?
Hey, how's it going, man? Thank you for having me on.
No, I thank you for coming on. Definitely. I know it's not. You don't see celebrities every single day, so I gotta highlight the celebrities in the community for sure.
I ain't a celebrity, man. I'm just like everybody else, man. I'm working hard and trying to make it to the weekend.
I heard that. Thank God for Fridays. Thank God for Ice Cube and Fridays for real. So of course, like I said, normally I like to do is kind of do like my first installment. The interaction part is like a mood check. So like let's go, one being the lowest, five being the highest. How we feeling today?
I would say, man, I would say in the middle, man. I say about 3.
Okay. Up three.
It's been a long week, man. Really a long couple of weeks. Just with the 9 to 5 and also my, artistic projects. So
Yeah.
I would say about a 3.
A three. Okay. Well, thank God the weekend's here, so you get a little time to rest up, power up a little bit, get your mental right, and everything. So of course, also like because another interaction part to kind of get the people up and going. I like to do a this or that segment now. So of course, I'm gonna ask you a couple. I'm gonna give you like two options to two things, and you just pick between one or the other. Okay.
All right.
So I'm gonna start off. I know everything you do is all encompassing with many different things, whether it's anime, whether it's music, whether it's film. So all right. So start off. So my first this or that is gonna be either between Naruto or Pokemon.
I would say Naruto.
Okay. Dragon Ball Z or Cowboy, was it Bebop?
Yeah.
Bebop? Sorry. Yeah, my bad.
I would say Dragon Ball Z.
Okay, I'm glad we agree on something. Dragon Ball Z is a goat to me. I remember being a jit watching Cartoon Network and like, oh man, Goku's gonna kick this guy's ass.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I'm actually two more. So either a Tribe Called Quest or Wu-Tang Clan.
Wu-Tang all day, man. Wu-Tang
Okay.
all day.
Okay, you had me a little nervous earlier. I guess we piggyback off your event you have coming up too. But early this morning, I was vibing a little bit to a little Tribe Called Quest this morning, so get a little vibe in, a little early morning positivity vibe.
Right, right,
Sitting here all the bang, shoot 'em up, bang bang. My baby daddy this, my baby daddy that. You get hear some old school hip hop,
right.
Much love to the OGs. And my last one was gonna be either Black Belt Jones or The Last Dragon.
Man, that's a tough one. I would say I'm at the rock with my man Ty Mock, man, the Last Dragon. And the reason why I want to throw that is because we're actually going to have Ty Mock at my Three Chambers Festival later this year. So
Awesome.
I gotta rock with the Last Dragon with that.
Of course. Okay. A little put me on a little. You guys a little preview of everything that's going on. Okay. Yes. Okay. We're going to tackle that in a little bit too. And one thing I like to do too, I know with of course with you having such a dynamic skill set and something that people don't normally do or see every day with their love for filmmaking and directing. I'm gonna actually just put us on to a couple of things. So put us on to some movies, TV shows, some music,
Right.
or even like some short films, some docs, anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. I would say, man, music wise, put you guys on or stuff that I'm listening to. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Um, like recently, I did a show with Talib Kweli. We brought Talib Kweli to
Oh yeah.
Wilmington. So I've been listening to a lot of his stuff. He has some new music out. Got a couple of joints. I'm a huge Sky Zoo fan. I've worked
Okay.
with Sky Zoo over the years. I'm always listening to his music.
Yeah.
Always Wu Tang, man. I'm always listening to their stuff. J. Cole, Fayetteville's own. So
Yeah.
I'm always listening. Him and other Dreamville artists like Lou, Boss, Ari Lennox. I'm always listening to their stuff. Man, who else, man? Also, I listen to like a lot of some nerdcore artists. You know what I'm saying? We got some local cats here in North Carolina. Sky Blue, dope artist, man. He's out of Raleigh. He
Okay.
does the nerdcore thing. You got my folks Trap Sushi. They're down in Atlanta. They do these big parties called Trap Sushi. But a lot of them are artists. You got True Brand. He's dope. You got Kiko Black, Anime Renee. You know what I'm saying? They're kind of like, trap, anime, hip hop,
Okay.
artists.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of that stuff, man. A lot of, people that have been in the game a long time, all the way down to like a lot of indie artists. My man Landon Word Swell, people like that. So some people you might not even heard about. But
Yeah.
I like listening to I guess like unsigned or underground artists, man. I love I'm always going to hip hop showcases and everything, just seeing what's out there, seeing what's fresh, seeing what's new on the underground scene. Movies, I love docs. I would say my man Tariq Nasheed, he got a new documentary that's pretty cool that's out called Microphone Check: The Hidden History of Hip Hop. That's
Okay.
a dope one. Um, I'm going to see The Crow tonight, the Crow reboot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to check that out, see what that's looking like, man. I'm a huge fan of the original.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
favorite joints. I'll say, man, my top 5 movies of all time, man. I'll throw The Crow in there.
Uh-huh.
Devil in the Blue Dress with Denzel Washington.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, all the Back to the Future films, the Back to the Future trilogy. And some, I would have to say, man, the era I kind of grew up with, the whole martial arts thing, with John Claude Van Damme, Steven Seagal. So I got to throw like a, Bloodsport, Kickboxer,
Okay.
um,
Okay.
Seagal, Mark for Death, Hard to Kill. You know what I'm saying? So that's the type of stuff I like, man. I like watching like the old classic films that I kind of grew up on, man. Anytime they come on, I can watch them like it was the first time watching it. But
Yeah.
new stuff, I don't know, man. Like a lot of this stuff I hate is new. It's like I watch it one time and then that's it. It
Yeah. No, I get
doesn't have
it.
the same impact, man, of some of those older films that I grew up on where I can always watch them and I still get that same feeling as if I was a kid, you know what I mean?
Yeah. We love it. I love it. That nostalgic vibe for sure. And now, when you kind of saying that, I kind of have want to piggyback to what you said earlier about brother Talib, and his new music. I know you say he has a lot more newer stuff now. Like, so how do you feel about his newer stuff? Like, is it still kind of? I know it's still reminiscent of his old style, but of course,
Right.
I can
Well,
imagine.
not still. He's still on point, man. He's still on point.
Okay.
It's still that same vibe, you know what I'm saying, of some of his old classics, man. So I'm feeling a couple of his new tracks that have came out recently. He actually performed some new tracks when we brought him down to do this concert last month. So
Okay. Oh, awesome. Okay. Well, yeah, what I'm gonna do too, cause also I'm in the middle of creating a put me on playlist also. So of course, whenever I have guests, I like to ask them for like a go-to track or something that they listen to, or a couple. Then I add it to the Spotify playlist, the Apple Music playlist, and everything. So I guess if you can too, if you can think of some songs top of the head, right, the top of the dome right now, see if I would love for you to just kind of drop us some gems.
I would say, I'm gonna say the Sky Zoo joint, man, to add to your playlist. The first Sky Zoo joint I ever heard. And I was like, yo, this brother's dope. Plus, he's big enough. One of my heroes. It's called Spike Lee. Spike Lee
Okay.
was my hero by Sky Zoo and features Talib Kweli as well. And so
Okay.
it's just giving, honor and homage to Spike Lee, man, what he done for the culture, what he done for the game. It features Sky Zoo and Talib Kweli. So that's like one of my favorite joints that I always bump. It just gives me motivation as a filmmaker as well. Plus, it has 2 of my favorite MCs on there too.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's definitely that's a joint, man. It's one of my favorite joints that I always bang.
Oh, yeah, okay. I love that. I love that for sure. I'm gonna use. It was funny because I think when you were saying something about like like especially like the people paying homage to people and everything, and for some reason I was thinking how like some of these new cats like I know me personally I know trap is kind of like well, one, if it's safe to call it a genre, that's probably like one of my like top three genres of genres of like at this moment for sure. So and also like kind of like this modern rap, like what's my man's name, Joyner Lucas.
Yeah.
It kind of when you said that, kind of made me think of like the Will Smith joint he had did where he was paying homage to them. I feel like Key Glock had recently did like a Spike Lee joint not too long ago also. But it's always pretty dope, just kind of always see the younger generation give the OGs their props and everything.
Right. For sure.
So yeah, so I guess as I tie into, of course, with the OG conversation, like who would you say would be like who is like your GOAT filmmaker, documentarian, all that?
Oh, it's a few, man. Spike Lee for sure.
Yeah,
Spike has done, he's, a lot of people know him just for the narrative work, but he's done some hell of documentary work, man, over the years. So I would say him. And, I want to do both, man, docs and narratives. So I got to throw Spike in there for the docs and narrative work. Stanley Nelson for the documentary work he's done over the years. He has a great organization, Firelight Media. This brother has done some of the best docs of all time. I consider him, man, the Black Ken Burns. You know what I'm
okay,
saying? He does all docs. I was lucky enough to participate in his documentary lab some years ago with one of my projects, man. And so, he's someone that I look up to. Who else, man? We got John Singleton. He's done amazing work,
yeah,
all the way until his death, man.
yeah. R.I.P. to the GOAT. Yeah, he's one of the GOATs, really.
For real, man. I'm liking Ryan Coogler. I like what he's bringing to the game. I really like what he's been doing. Not only, stuff with Marvel, but, outside of Marvel as well.
Yeah,
Huge fan. I like Ava DuVernay. I like what she's done over the years as well. I'm just a huge fan of all these folks, Issa Rae, and
yeah.
all these folks, man, are just doing some real fly stuff, man. I'm just trying to, see what they doing and trying to, make my own lane as well. But I'm loving all of it, what I'm seeing right now.
Definitely. And it's kind of dope now just to see like this new and kind of in a way a renaissance,
Right.
especially of Black filmmakers again. And I think kind of to some degree, like even though maybe it's just like the pandemic kind of put some things on hold, I do think in some ways too. I think the pandemic has kind of created or like sparked this new this new way of like thinking and creative thinking and stuff too. Yeah, 'cause I know Issa Rae, she had me in a chokehold during the pandemic, especially. I think maybe like the year or two before the pandemic, no, she dropped Insecure. But then like during the pandemic, it was like, man, like when is Insecure come on? Like, come on, like this is we need these episodes. We need these episodes.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's how I'll pick it back again too. When you had mentioned like, of course, like the older stuff and the kind of getting new, kind of renovated with the newer stuff. And I know that you gave your top 5 movies, of course. One of my favorite movies of all time is like the Rocky series. I love the Rocky series.
I forgot to put that. Yes,
So
alone. Rocky series, Rambo, all that, man.
oh yeah, so you already know, but Rocky always had a special heart for me. Like Rocky made me want to go to Philly to do like the steps. Like I still want to go. I still got to do that.
want
But
to do that.
got to hit the music on and everything. But for sure, I know I think just kind of like picking it was kind of like bringing it into today's time. Oh, now you mentioned Ryan Coogler, who's like one of my favorites. Like every time I be trying to be on the Ryan Coogler way for a long time. So of course with the Black Panther, but also with Creed. Like Creed is definitely Creed is one of my favorite movie series of all time. And I don't like to compare the old stuff to the new stuff, but I can see myself like watching the newer Creeds more than I watch the old Rockies. And that's crazy because I normally when Rocky's on, I'm like, I don't know nobody talking to me. I know like yeah, whether it's the Club of Lanes, Apollo Creed, all like I love all that. But the new Creed,
The Rocky movies, man, like the villains were like top notch, man. Like
oh yeah,
you had your Clubber Lanes, Ivan Drago, man, like these type
yeah,
villains. You like I said, you don't see that no more, man, with some of these type of movies.
yeah. It's definitely classic. No, for sure, it's definitely timeless. Timeless is definitely a good way to put it and everything. Yeah, I feel like recently Carl Willis had passed away. Was it last year sometime? Carl Willis.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah, yeah. Nah, yeah. That one low key kind of did me kind of dirty low key.
oh yeah.
But shouts out to the Apollo Creed, man. You're truly one of the goats. But okay, so yeah, so I'm gonna just I guess we just picking it kind of just pick it up now from like your life as a filmmaker. So like how did that come to be fruition? Like what age were you when you first picked up the camera? Like let's give us a deets. Let's give us the behind the scenes of Mr. Chris Everette.
Well, man, I didn't pick up the camera until later on. I first started out is when I went to college, and I was about 100 pounds lighter back in these days. And so I started off doing modeling and acting, man. That was my road into it. Did a lot of commercial work, did stuff in New York, LA, down in ATL. And so that was my thing, man, doing, modeling and acting work, commercials, little small budget films here and there, print work, those type of things. And so that's how I got my start, was just doing that whole thing. And then I kind of decided to move to Atlanta. This is before before it blew up.
Before the Mecca, before hitting the Black Mecca, yeah.
So I moved down. I think Tyler Perry had just started doing his thing. He had came out with 2 movies. And then so I went down there and did a couple of auditions. And then, decided to make the move and try to say, you know what, let me leave North Carolina. Let me try to go down to Atlanta. Seemed like some things is happening. But I just never, it just never worked out. And so after that, I decided, you know what, I want to tell my own stories. I just got tired of saying, why won't Hollywood do this? Why won't Hollywood do that? I said, you know what, let me go ahead and try to do my own thing. And so I felt like documentaries was an easier route. And so that's when I pretty much came up with my first film, man, Wilmington on Fire, and decided to do that, and the rest is history.
Yeah. I know. I remember a couple years ago. I remember when you were doing the premiere showing in Wilmington a couple years ago. When Upper Center was hosting it, and it's crazy how much the time has definitely changed now. Wilmington kind of always had its own culture with racial identity and racial, what's the word I'm looking for? Conflict, dilemmas normally. And now I'm pretty sure you said that as of recently too. They definitely did a big cut on the DEI efforts that the university was having and everything.
Right.
So yeah. So definitely, I just kind of want you to kind of just like chime in on that and everything. Like, definitely, like kind of just like the importance of a film like Wilmington on Fire. Definitely.
Well, I'll say, man, the film to me, I think it did what it needed to do. It was a grassroots effort, grassroots initiative, man. How we put this thing together. Actually, I thought about either writing a book or doing a documentary on how we did it. You know what I'm saying? How we put this thing together and really talk to the people behind the scenes, like my cinematographer, the guy that did the scoring, people that contributed to the soundtrack, people that, contributed to some of the illustrations, all those things. Just talked about, man, how we all did this thing for really little to no money, but it was about, getting this history out, man, and making an impact and to show people, man, you don't have to have Hollywood, their support. You can just do it yourself and really go right to the community. And so the film is very important, man. It really lays out what happened in Wilmington. People are familiar with Rosewood or familiar with Tulsa. The same thing happened here in Wilmington, November 10th, 1898. And so the film really chronicles that whole event from the beginning of it to when it happened and also the aftermath as well. And like you said, man, Wilmington is still dealing with a lot of those effects of the 1898 massacre. And like you were saying, especially at UNCW, with the removal, the whole DEI removing of really not only in education, but I'm also seeing businesses and other corporations saying it just not too long ago. Remember when we were in the pandemic and George Floyd was murdered, everyone was saying that people created DEI departments and created DEI initiatives and said that they were going to, do all these efforts to start being more inclusive, and they were going to report on the progress or not progress. And if it wasn't progress, they were going to fix it. And then you saw after the years went on, people just kind of let it go. And then, you know what I'm saying? And then also, then especially when we got, President Biden in office, you started to see just people like, well, racism is over with. We got rid of Trump. And so racism is weird now. And so let's go ahead and start eliminating, all the stuff that we want, that we said we were going to do to try to, make some things fair and balanced. And it's crazy, man. But that's what we do as artists. That's what we do as filmmakers. We try to document this stuff and use that camera to make some type of change happen.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I love that, definitely. And of course, like, you're very right, especially when I'll call it the performative acts during the pandemic, especially, At one point, we was having 2 Independence Days with Juneteenth, and then now all of a sudden, the groundwork is ain't even getting Juneteenth off anymore. That's another day at work compared to like the corporate offices who are getting benefit from the day off and everything.
Right.
But normally, of course, I think I kind of I don't know. I'm trying to think how to phrase this question. So, of course, with all the great works that you have done and you are still continuing to do, what is like the biggest message you would like to convey when people look at your work?
Man, just I always try to have a standard of quality and excellence. Each project we try to step our game up. I try to step my game up as an artist, as a filmmaker, as a creative. And say if like one of my first projects, the sound wasn't that well, I say, you know what, the next project, we're going to make sure the sound is right. We're going to make sure the cinematography is going to step up. That's what I try to do. I try to get better with every project. You know what I'm saying? And so knowing that if you see one of my projects, you're going to get some high quality, but also you can get some good information. It's going to make you laugh. It's going to make you cry. But overall, you're going to have a good experience.
Yeah. Definitely. I didn't. And of course, I think I'm gonna piggyback again to like the Wilmington on Fire because crazy part. When I was an undergrad, I went to school at UC Pembroke, of course, right down the road, like an hour some change away. And I remember when I was an undergrad, right when I kind of pledged into my fraternity, we had a great frat brother in UCW who was the only alpha there. So of course we kind of go there to kind of support and help out with his efforts and stuff there because when he great brother, of course. And I think when we had first kind of got there, we was like, of course, going to UCW campus, and even like Pembroke, people people like, is Pembroke at HBCU, is it PWI, and it's like, Pembroke is its own. We are our own thing. Like, we have a hell of Black people there, a lot of Lumbee people there also. So it's very they like to use the term robust and population for sure.
Right.
But I remember when we were there, I remember we were kind of just hyping up our frat brother Marquise. Like, we was like, bro, like, this is nice. Like, y'all got beach houses out here. Da 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 da. Like, it's not too many niggas in here. Just being funny, whatever. And we like, why you hate it here? And he's kind of like, he's like, boy, y'all knew like the racial history that going on here. So like, we was like, really? Like, are you serious? And of course now, and this is crazy how like a city can be a couple hours away and you don't even know like I guess like the framework of how the city operates and everything. Of course, and of course, the little things like like we overlook like the Wilmington 10 and yeah, all that stuff. I know a couple weeks ago I did an episode with Letty, Miss Letty Gore, and Letty was just going in because she does her own DEI consulting and racial equity, so she gave everyone a good history lesson and everything when it came to that.
Yeah, but we showed an unreleased documentary on the Wilmington 10 back in October. Me and my friend, we do these screenings, man, where we try to bring. You talked about it earlier, Black docs. Me and my boy Curtis John, we started that initiative, man, during the pandemic, and we did it virtually during the pandemic. And then when the pandemic was kind of over, when people got back outside and venues started opening up, we started doing it in person. But it took us about a year and a half to get access to that film. So Haley Jarima, another one of my favorite filmmakers out of DC, he actually did a documentary on the Wilmington 10, I think 1976. Yeah. So these guys are all young, they were locked up at the time. And so he came to Wilmington, documenting Wilmington, documenting them, their family, friends, all of that. And so he never released it, man. This film has been in the vaults for years. He would do some screenings here and there, but he never released it to the public. And then so the Academy, the folks that do the Oscars, they worked with him and his family to do a 4K restoration of it. And so they did a couple of screenings, I think, at Northwestern University, out in LA and New York. And so we did the South premiere. And so we were able to do it. Took us about a year and a half. But when we did it, man, we did it here in Wilmington and it was packed. We sold it out. And guess what? We had 3 members of the Wilmington 10 there. Ben Chavis came, Wayne Moore, and Willie Vereen. And it was their first time even seeing the film. You know what I'm saying? So it was a lot of people first time seeing it, man. And it was a cool experience. And so those are the type of things we like to do, man, that I like to do. Not only making films, but curating films and curating those experiences. And like I said, man, you can't really, no one really has access to it. We're actually working on maybe doing some more screenings. The family loves what we're doing, what we're trying to do. So we're working with the Haley Jarima family now to set up some more screenings of that film. So I'll definitely keep you posted, man. I would love for you
Yeah,
to come
please.
back.
Yes, please do. I'd love to promote it for sure. And also, it's always good just to learn and get other people's perspective on things. I
Right.
can imagine how powerful it was just to even see the three members of the Wilmington team just come in and just see this
Yeah,
firsthand. Like they
yeah,
lived through this. And,
they're watching themselves as young guys, man. They were like 19 back then. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
15, 20 years old, back then, man. So seeing them as young men back then, and then also seeing how Wilmington looked back then as well, completely different than what Wilmington looks like now.
I know. I'm dying to see it now because I can only imagine how much things have changed over time and everything. I'm sorry, forgive me. I tell you, I woke up this morning with a
Good.
sniffle. But I think, but of course, with all the great things that you have done, of course, I think we see a lot of the good, the great, of course, with us as viewers, we just look at this perfect perfection, but we know when it comes to a journey of perfection, there does come a lot of obstacles and challenges and struggles. So, what is normally like the biggest struggle that you normally have as a filmmaker, and also just kind of getting things started?
I say, man, as a filmmaker or just all the stuff we trying to do, man, it's just funding, man. Finding the funds to do this stuff, what I'm saying, and do it well and do it efficiently. That's always been the biggest issue. But again, we come from a people, man, that's very innovative and have always made, something out of nothing. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times when I get down about certain things like that, I just think about the ancestors, man, about, what our people had to do and accomplish with nothing. They ain't have no rights or nothing. And still were able to do their thing. So I say, you know what, at least I got rights. At least I can kind of move freely and, make some type of opportunity a little bit better, than they had it. So let me go ahead and figure something out and get this thing going. So that's what really keeps me motivated, man. Just thinking about what our ancestors sacrificed, what they accomplished. And I say, you know what, let me go ahead and continue this legacy.
I know that's right. I know we have a way about ourselves. Is to find a way or make one. So we are our ancestors' wildest dreams, and that's always that's definitely I need to hear that this morning. Definitely, people can find excuses why the things don't get done, but to be mindful that people before us didn't have these resources that we have at ours disposal now, and to keep going and keep making them proud and keep doing the work.
And also, I think the only thing that our ancestors had that we don't have now, they had more togetherness. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, they had more togetherness, and to me, that's how they were able to accomplish a lot. You know what I'm saying? That's what they have now. That's what they had back then, and we don't have. I
yeah,
think if we get that, oh man, combined with what we have access to, oh man, I think we will do even more amazing things.
yeah. We'll definitely do that. Definitely do damage like Shaq and Kobe together. Definitely, I completely get it. I think we kind of also in that era now where everyone wants to just because like when we hear the word independent, we some people take pride in like doing it by myself, but also doing things by yourself and being a one man gang it sounds cool, but Lord knows like
Yeah.
it's draining, it's taxing,
Yes, it is.
it's
But the thing is,
exhausting.
we can still, have the mindset of being independent, but it can be black independent. You know what I'm saying? Like as a group, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
if we did a little bit more of that, I think we can get a little bit further along. But we'll get there.
we will get there. We got no choice at this point. But so yes, so I think I'm gonna kind of steer the wheel a little bit. Because I know recently I was of course doing my research, and I see that you're also in a project of doing the process of doing a project Grandmaster. So
Yeah.
let's dive into that a little bit.
Oh yeah, man. Grandmaster, the Vic Morse story. This is a documentary, man, that I'm looking very forward to. We're going to actually probably do a premiere screening later this year.
Okay.
It's a film that honestly I think is just as important as Wilmington on Fire. And I want, the public to really realize that, man, it's our contribution to martial arts culture and history, and also what this man has done for the sport of karate over the years, being a pioneer of it. But Grandmaster is about four-time world karate champion, African American karate champion Victor Moore. Like I said, he was a pioneer of the sport when karate first became a sport in the 1960s. He was one of the first professional karate champions. He's fought Chuck Norris. He did like an infamous speed competition against Bruce Lee back in the day. And he's taught, so many folks. He's done like, fight choreography for movies. He even taught a chimp how to do karate back in the day.
Oh, wow.
Actually, man, he used to have a couple of dojos in Fayetteville. That's
Oh,
where he
wow.
had a chimp. That's where he actually had his chimp when he was living in Fayetteville, man. So we got
Oh,
footage of
man.
all when the news crew came to Fayetteville to filming with this chimp and news articles. He actually had a chimp in a movie. We got the rights to that. We tracked that down. And so it's really documenting, we sprinkle his history throughout the film, but it's really showing him today and how he's still teaching his knowledge of karate to anyone who wants to learn. And also how he's been working with these two young up and coming martial artists as well. And, so we go into their stories also. So that's what it's really about, man. Really just honoring his legacy and his past, but also still giving him his flowers of what he's still doing today. You know what I mean? So that's what it's all about, man. A lot of times when it comes to cats like him and others, we wait till they die and then we want to do something on them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And stuff like that. But it's like, man, give these people their flowers while they still here. And we don't do that enough in our community. We wait till because I see it all the time, man. You see it. When someone dies, we ain't heard people talk about them like 40 years. And then when they die, they want to say, oh, man, this and that.
Yeah,
like,
he was the greatest of his time. He was really ahead of the time, man.
Yeah, man. It's like, man, that's why we're trying to do what we're doing with this project. Get this brother his flowers while he's still here, and really show our contribution to martial arts, the history behind it, etc. Because a lot of times, man, I know even growing up, when it came to Black people in martial arts, it was always in some type of comedy form. It was like Dragonfly Jones, the character on his show, Dragonfly Jones, or something. It was always some comedy with it. You know what I'm saying? Serious and
yeah, definitely.
so learning about him, it just wasn't him, man. You had a lot of brothers and sisters that was knee deep in this martial art game and contributed a lot to it, and what was pretty much some of the top grandmasters ever. And you had a lot of these folks that was Black, African American, man, that did their thing. And so I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and start doing something with this. And so me and a couple other guys, man, we probably chop it up like once a month. So it's another guy. He's doing a joint on Kareem Abdullah. He was one of the greatest martial artists ever. He was out in New Jersey. And then I have another guy. He's doing a documentary on the Black Karate Federation, BKF, out in LA. And so we're kind of like the only three guys that's doing anything on Black martial artists. And so we have like a little support group, man, that we try to chop it up, once a month, bounce ideas off of each other. If somebody found some archival stuff, they could possibly use, we'll share that, and just try to man, because doing this type of film, no one's really doing these type of films on Black martial artists. And so we've kind of been like a support system for each other, man, so we can help each other complete these projects, so we can give these brothers their proper respect and their flowers.
Yeah, absolutely. And now you do make a good point. Such like the comedy part, like normally we see like the martial arts. I know, like, of course, like my family, they're from Chicago, Mississippi. So my grandma and her sisters, like, especially like one of her older sisters, like they would normally do like the old like black exploitation like lines and gimmicks and stuff. So, like, I'll take your heart out, rip it to you show it before you fall out. They say like weird stuff like that all the time. And I think I remember a couple of years ago, my family was watching the Netflix movie when Eddie Murphy does the
Dolomite joint.
Dolomite, yeah. So
man, now the blaxploitation era, man, that's one of my favorite joints, man. I love watching those films. Like you said, like Dolomite, TNT Jackson. So yeah, this one brother, man, that I've been working with, he coined the phrase "Black's Fu," and it's pretty much blaxploitation and kung fu. And so we're actually going to start doing a screening series, like a Black's Fu cinema film series, where we're going to show some of these films that kind of combine blaxploitation and kung fu, like TNT Jackson, like Dolomite, Soul Brothers of Kung Fu, all those type of things. Melinda, those films where some of the martial arts wasn't that great. Like Black Belt Jones is a Black's Fu joint, exploitation and kung fu. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people don't know that was a cool genre, man, that showed that our connection to martial arts. We love martial arts, man. And so even in the blaxploitation era, we will always put those elements, of martial arts, even though it might not have been the best choreography. But we would always implement the martial arts in our movies because of our love for it, man. So, it's just one of the other programs that we want to do as an educational piece, but also, have people watch a good movie as well.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. Now I was thinking about that too when you were saying that because I know we use the term like timeless and how things things in the past come into like newer things, and I was remember like 'cause I remember I think especially like I agree because I love like the cinematography when it comes to that like how the looks and everything. 'Cause I think even like before making the Stallion even making the Stallion before she blew up I remember like she did I can't think of the name of the song right now but the like that whole the vibe she had with the song the cinematography the videography and everything. But yeah, that's definitely something I'm looking forward to doing. Do you have a timeline when you plan on actually wanting to show when you plan on actually showing Grandmaster at all?
Yeah, man. Hopefully, we're thinking about doing like a little sneak peek screening at Three Chambers Fest in December.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Doing that, like some type of little sneak peek thing, either December or if it's not December, it'll probably be Black History Month, top
Okay.
February, and do quite a few during Black
Yeah.
History because a lot of times, man, martial arts, Black folks in martial arts, we rarely get discussed in Black History Month, and so we actually did a program a couple of years ago in Cary for Black History Month, and they said, Chris, man, we want to do something different for Black
Yeah.
History. Let's do something around African Americans and martial arts. And at the time, I had a solid rough cut of the Grandmaster project. And I
Okay.
wanted to kind of show the rough cut, get some feedback and stuff like that. I said, well, let's do a rough cut screening of my film. Plus, I can bring Grandmaster more as well and have him
Okay.
engage with the audience, have a Q&A with me and him, and all that stuff. And they said, yo, let's do it,
Yeah.
And after that, the next day, it's pretty much a 2-day thing for Black History Month in Cary. So we did the Grandmaster rough cut screening with me and Grandmaster Moore. Then the next day is another initiative that I do with my brothers out in DC called Shaolin Jazz. They do a thing called Can I Kick It? And it's where we take like any film. It could be an action film, it could be a cult classic or whatever, and they remix the score live using hip hop. And
Yeah.
so we did a Can I Kick It of The Last Dragon. You know what I'm saying? And
Okay.
both events were sold out, man. And so I want to do more of those things for Black History Month. More stuff around martial arts and hip hop and anime culture.
Okay, yeah, definitely. So I guess I'll be kind of on it. I know you kind of gave us a little sneak preview of what Three Chambers Fest is, but can you tell us exactly what it is, what does it entail, and everything?
Yeah, man. Well, Three Chambers, man. It's pretty much a concept I came up with a couple years ago. Like I said, when you had gave me the option of Tribe Called Quest and Wu Tang, I had to pick Wu Tang because Three Chambers Fest, man, it was majorly influenced by Wu Tang Clan.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Just how, they were like the first cats that I saw growing up combine hip hop with the martial arts culture. You know what I'm saying? Like with the
yeah,
beats, with everything. You know what I'm saying? With the interludes, they would, intertwine
yeah,
kung fu quotes, and you hear the swords, doing all
yeah.
that beats, and
Oh, yeah.
yeah, man. So they were the first, man. To me, they were the first that I saw that combined the elements of hip hop and martial arts culture together. And so I was like, man, I want to come up with something similar, but doing it as a festival and combining a lot of this stuff like hip hop, martial arts, but also let's throw in the anime aspect as well. And so that's where three comes from. So it's pretty much combining these three elements, hip hop, martial arts, and anime. And so we started, man, I started doing events with this thing, I would say a couple of years ago, actually, when I lived in Durham before I moved to Wilmington. I
Yeah,
was showing like old kung fu flicks, man, at this bar downtown called the Pinhook. And so I had my boy, he was a DJ. And so when the doors open, my man be spinning records, spinning Wu-Tang records while people getting drinks and conversing, getting food. And then we would show like a classic, black kung fu flick. I think the first one was The Black Dragon's Revenge, starring Ron Van Cleef. You know what I'm saying? We did
yeah,
that joint first. And then I would do I would record like a pre-recorded Q&A, like a little 10-minute pre-recorded Q&A with one of the stars of the film. So I had recorded a 10-minute Q&A with Ron Van Cleef that we showed afterwards. And then the next one we did was TNT Jackson. Then I recorded a 10-minute Q&A with Gene Bell, the lady that started TNT Jackson. And so we were showing like a lot of them joints and finding some of the elders who are elders now that were pretty much in those films, and they loved it, man. Like Ron Van Cleef and Gene Bell, they just really appreciate people still wanting to see these films. These films came out in the 70s, and they just were thrilled that people had an interest still and wanted to hear from them. And so that's how it started, man, just showing old kung fu flicks at a bar in downtown.
Yeah.
And then once I moved to Wilmington, connected with people like Shaolin Jazz, started doing some Can I Kick It events with them. I said, you know what, let me go ahead and just do a full out festival, and
Yeah.
just grow this game. And so last year, we decided to do the first 3 Chambers Fest. We had Sky Zoo. He was one of the headlining music performers for the concert. We did a Can I Kick It of the Brandon Lee film, The Crow.
Yeah.
We did that joint. We remixed the score to that. And then we did a Qigong. Qigong is like Tai Chi.
Yeah.
Qigong in the garden at Sokoto House, because I also want to promote health and wellness, mental health and wellness as well. And Qigong does wonders for that. And then we did an anime after party where we had, my Trap Sushi family come up from Atlanta, do their thing, had video games, the whole 9. And so it went well. I didn't know what to expect, man.
Yeah.
But it was a hit, and people wanted us to do it again. And so we also did, out of that, branched off to other stuff. Now I'm starting to do work with Wu-Tang Clan now. So we actually,
awesome.
back in May, we actually partnered with the North Carolina Black Film Festival, and we pretty much we curated their opening night film and their closing night film. And so the opening night film that we curated was, we were able to do the South premiere of the new Wu-Tang Clan documentary, A Wu-Tang Experience, live at Red Rocks Amphitheater. And so it's coming out in a few months, but it only had screened in New York and LA. I was able to bring it down here to Wilmington. You know what I'm saying? And so we had the co-director there, Gerald Barclay, and then we also brought Capadonna down as well to be a part of the Q&A. And folks loved it. And then the closing film we curated was Art, Beats, and Lyrics. It's a documentary about this legendary, historic traveling art exhibit. It's like a hip-hop art exhibit, man, where they have this dope art show with all this dope Black art. And then at the end of the night, they usually have a top performer, whether it's Lupe Fiasco, AZ. They just had AZ in New York, whoever, you know what I'm saying? And they'll do a live show, like a 30-minute set. So it's a combination of an art show mixed with a concert. And so the documentary was about that. And then we had the founder of Art, Beats, and Lyrics there, and also the director of the documentary too. And that was their first film festival that we coordinated. And so we did that. And then, last month we did the Talib Kweli concert with Sky Zoo and a few others. And then a few months before that, we did the South premiere of a new it's a documentary around the Bruceploitation era. A lot of people don't remember this. When Bruce Lee died, a lot of these studios, especially in China and Japan, wanted to still capitalize off of Bruce Lee. And so they came up with these clones of all these knockoff Bruce Lee, made these knockoff movies. And so that's what the documentary is about. It's called Enter the Clones of Bruce. And so it features a lot of the Bruce Lee knockoffs. They're in the film, and some of the producers. And we also got an video intro from one of the clones on Bruce Lee. We had him. He did a special intro for me that we played at the beginning, but we had the South premiere of that, man. We were the only entity that screened it in the South. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
And so they did like a 30-city run. We had the only run in the South, sold it out. And so those are some of the things, man, we just started to do even after the first 3 Chambers Fest, and we have the next one coming up December 4th through the 7th, right here in Wilmington, North Carolina.
Awesome. Okay, I definitely have to check that one out. Cause I feel like the one you went, I can't remember you had one, like, was it at Wilmington Distillery? I want to say, was that the one?
Wilmington, no. We work a lot with Waterline.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I know it's one of them. Definitely. Yes, December 4th to 7th. That's really doable.
We got some surprises, man. Like I said, we got, because Time already told me we we're going to be in Wilmington before I joined. So, we're going to do a special Can I Kick It, where we're going to remix the score live. Shaolin Jazz going to do their thing live with The Last Dragon. Time will be there for Q&A and meet and greet. So that's one of the special events we have. We're going to make some more announcements next month. Early bird tickets going to go on sale probably towards the end of September.
Okay.
And we'll be announcing the official lineup as well. So we got some stuff, man, for this year. Also, we got in Cary, man. If you want to come check out Can I Kick It, come up to Cary September 7th, man. September 7th, we're doing the town of Cary always shows love, always wants us to do programming there. So we're
Okay.
doing the special Can I Kick It with Shaolin Jazz. We're going to do Kill Bill Volume 1. We're going to remix the score to that joint. And so that's one of our favorite joints to do. And
Yeah,
so
definitely. Yeah, I love Kill Bill.
yeah, come check it out.
Yes, sir. I love it. I definitely will have to do it since you're right down the road from me now.
Yeah.
So I guess I ask probably like two more questions that kind of normally tie in together. So question for next question I'll ask you definitely is one, what can we do better to support you and your brand and Three Chambers and your love for filmmaking and much more?
Well, I would say, man, support Three Chambers, man. To me, that's what I'm doing now. Even Three Chambers is more than just a festival. It's a really a media company that I'm building up. Because we're actually Three Chambers is actually producing the Grandmaster project. So we want to do documentaries around martial arts culture, like the Grandmaster project, around hip hop, around anime. So we're thinking about developing some anime projects or some comic book projects. So Three Chambers, I'm building it into an actual media company, but we do have a festival. So I'm trying to do what LL Cool J has done, man, with Rock the Bells.
Yeah,
It's a media company, it's a media platform. So we have a blog section that we do articles. So we're starting to ramp that up a little bit more. We do articles around anime, around hip hop, around martial arts. So we're trying to be an overall media company that we have the festival that we do every year, and we do year round stuff as well. So that's what we're trying to build up, man. Threechambers.com. People can go there and sign up for the updates, man, and support the programming that we're doing. And then when we come out with films, we got Wilmington on Fire 2 coming right after Grandmaster. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
that's done. We're just finishing up the edits, right now, but that's going to come right after the Grandmaster project. So, just whenever we drop something, man, whenever we got an event going, just share it. If you can't come, just share it with your networks, man. Let people know about it.
yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. I'm excited now. Now I gotta look forward to these and put these on my calendar now because I definitely want to be attendance for it.
Yeah.
Definitely, definitely, and also we can connect offline about that too. And lastly, if what's the best way for us to get up with you? Should we want to, check you out,
Yeah.
collaborate,
Oh yeah,
follow?
just hit me up, man. Chris at the number 3chambers.com. Chris at 3chambers.com. You can go to 3chambers.com, the number 3chambers.com. So 3chambers.com, Chris at 3chambers.com. Also social media as well. Our handles are, I think, what, 3Chambers Fest, 3Chambers Fest, at 3Chambers Fest, and that's across Facebook, Twitter, and IG. So you can hit
Okay,
me on any of
Are-
those avenues.
awesome. Are you on TikTok?
Yeah, we on TikTok as well.
Okay,
Three
okay,
chambers.
got you,
Yes,
got you.
across the board. And then also on our website, 3chambers.com, it has all of our social media channels on there too. And then also a way for you to email me, or you can sign up for our email list. Definitely sign up for our email blast, because we always constantly send things about events we got going on. A lot of times we partner with other events. They give us discount codes. So like right now, we partner with the Wilson Center in Wilmington, and
Yeah,
they're doing something that's similar to what we do at Can I Kick It. They're doing a big Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. It's like a live music performance when you
yeah.
see. So they got the live orchestra, the DJ setup,
Oh,
everything,
cool.
and it's like a live music score with the full orchestra. When we do our live score, it's just the DJ, but they
Yeah,
got the
yeah.
DJ, the whole set.
Oh,
And so
yeah.
I'm looking forward to it, man, because I heard a lot about it. It travels around the country, and so we have a 10% discount code for our audience. So that's why you got to get on our email list so you can take advantage of some of these discounts. We partner with a lot of people. A lot of people reach out to us, want to tap into our audience. They like the stuff that we do, and so we're always sharing that stuff on our social media. The discount codes and what's happening, and also through our email newsletters as well. So definitely sign up and always stay in touch with us on our social media as well.
Awesome, awesome. Definitely, definitely. So y'all got a lot of things going on for the end of the year. We're
Oh
four
yeah,
months away, but I love it. I love it. So yeah, that's pretty much. I think that's pretty much. We'll wrap it up today. Like I said, follow my man's Chris. He got a lot going on, and also let him put you on to some stuff you don't know nothing about. Black people. We have an impact everywhere, including
oh yeah,
martial arts. So be sure to check out Grandmaster
oh
and a
yeah.
little bit of the history of Wilmington on Fire Part 2. But if you didn't see Part 1 yet, How we see that, Chris? How we see that? We ain't seen that yet.
Quelle TV, Quelle TV. Go to QuelleTV.com. It's a Black-owned streaming service that I partner with to kind of exclusively show Wilmington on Fire at the moment. So go to QuelleTV.com. Not only check out Wilmington on Fire on there, but they have plenty of Black films, whether it's documentaries, narratives, comedies, short action, you name it. They have it all there. But we're exclusively on Quelle TV at the moment. So go check that out.
All right, folks, y'all heard them. Alrighty. So, yeah, Chris, I want to thank you again for popping on today. It's been nothing but eye-opening and insightful for sure. And I know come December and you said Carrie's coming up soon, the 7th. So, you might see me early. You might see me early again, 2 weeks out.
Man, come through, man. I'm telling you, man. Can I Kick It is an experience like you've never experienced it before, man. Watching a film with a whole new soundtrack and you see the DJ doing it live, man, it's a cool experience. I always tell people you got to come check it out. And a lot of times when people come check it out, a lot of times they don't even want to watch the original movie no more without put on. So I'm telling you, it's good.
All right, yeah, put that in the calendar now, brother. I appreciate that for sure. Well, all right, folks, I want to thank y'all for chiming in. Brother Chris, I appreciate you for everything you're going to do. I know we'll connect a little bit more off this. But also, y'all make sure y'all enjoy y'all beautiful Friday, rest up for the weekend, prepare for the next week after that. Y'all be easy. Okay.